Here we go. What do you think of my new cart? Well, it's not exactly new, but I finally got it running yesterday. I'll give you a bit of a rundown on it. There's a few things that need to be changed on it and dialed in. Yeah, little disappointed in the steering on it, but yeah, I'll get that sorted. But I'll give you a gist of what's going on here. Previously there was a 9 horsepower Lifan motor at the back here, petrol power one. Rattle your back teeth out when you accelerate. Didn't really like it. So this is a QS165 V3. It's got the gearbox on here, and the cog that this came with worked out nicely with the sprocket that was already here. I didn't have to change the gearing or anything like that. It worked out to the speed that I wanted to go for, so that was just an added bonus. I hadn't actually worked that out like that. The controller is the ND72 890. You can see here I've got an extra box here. I've just got all the connections in there, hiding that just so it doesn't get covered in dirt and shit. But the controller seemed to go quite good from yesterday, from what I can tell. I didn't actually check the temperature of it, but there was one thing to note about this controller and my other controller I didn't know. When you connect a smaller battery pack, and I don't mean lower voltage, I mean less capacity, the controllers won't start up properly. So I use smaller 10 amp hour battery packs connected in parallel to bring up the capacity, and also, you know, be able to handle the current that spreads the current across all of them. When you connect a couple of them in parallel and you connect it up to the controller, no problem. But if I connect up just one, the controller doesn't start up properly. Weird phenomenon, don't know what's going on. It's not like I was using the power or anything, it just literally wouldn't start up. It'd beep and then it'd die out. But that was something that I learned. I hadn't heard of anyone coming across that before. These shockies here, they're terrible. This thing, well, it bounced around with the original petrol motor, and I thought, you know, you've got all this weight at the back here that's, you know, unsprung. Hopefully it'll be better when I get the electric motor on here, a whole lot less weight, and put the batteries in up the front there, or middle of the chassis, and then these things can bounce a bit more. But yesterday it bounced around. I didn't know I had tits, but they bounced off when I was on this thing. So I'll be replacing these shocks, getting something better in there, something with the adjustable rebound on it, and then hopefully that'll improve it a little bit. One thing that didn't help yesterday with that bouncing around is the previous guy was driving this thing around on the road, and he had these things pumped up to 20 pounds. So you only put them up to 20 pounds just to seat the bead, and then you bring them right down again. So these are meant to be, from memory, like 5 psi up to 10 psi for operating. Yeah, and I was at 20 psi, so it was kind of no wonder it was bouncing around that much. Hopefully that'll help next time I take it out, but I will replace these shocks anyways. One thing about the shocks and feeling it, you can see this bar across the back here. Anything that comes up through the shock goes straight through to the seat. You feel everything. That's rough as guts. I'm going to get a pad or change the seat or something on there, make it more comfortable, because you feel every bump, even though it's on shockies. That's a battery box. There's nothing special in there. I don't even have batteries in there at the moment, but I put batteries in this other one over here just so you can see what it looks like. 5 of my 10 amp hour batteries. So there's 50 in here at the moment. With the 2 battery boxes I can put 100 amp hours of battery, and they're in this configuration here. Connect up here, just tuck that back in. Up here is the on switch to power up the machine. That's a reverse switch, and that's a LED light just to let you know that the on switch is on, like the power's on, sort of thing. I don't have the batteries connected at all unless I am driving the machine, so I'm not too worried about the batteries draining or anything like that. One thing I will need to get is a battery level indicator. Either that or mounts the display. What do you call those displays? DKD or something? Get one of those mounted down here or something. Maybe later in the future. The battery boxes here. See, there's not much space between the wheel and the box. When I sit in here, my legs are jammed up under there quite a bit, so I need to move these battery boxes back and give myself a bit more leg space so that I can turn the wheel without punching myself in the leg. That wasn't fun yesterday. Another thing about the steering, as I indicated earlier, I wasn't impressed with the steering. I had changed the steering. It was previously just one of those pivot pins, I don't know what you call it exactly, and I bought this steering rack here because with that previous setup it was very difficult to hold straight. I was going to end up with arms like Arnie. You had to really grab hold of the wheel, and there was a little bit of slop in the system, and then the wheels would, you know, flop around a bit, and it was difficult to hold straight in some of the dirt places. So I got this steering rack here, but it's gone from one extreme to another, from not being able to hold it straight to not being able to turn much. It's very unresponsive, so what I'll end up doing, or what I'll do to start with, is I'll drill another hole back here, see if I can get it a bit more responsive. Otherwise I'll look at a different setup, because yeah, it was with this much power at the back, it could step out easily, and it was difficult to stay in front of it with the steering. One, because it was less responsive, and two, because you can't actually feel much of what's going on through the steering wheel. So, you know, in my other car, obviously it's a handlebar rather than a steering wheel, but you can sort of feel what's going on in the car, keep in front of the back end, and yeah, drive nicely. This one wasn't so much, but I'm happy that it got going. I took it for a spin on a limestone track. I had it geared from memory, like I say, it was about 70 km an hour, and it fairly moves along when you get it up to speed. When I was in the soft dirt, it was perfectly fine, just spin the wheels. When I was on the hard track, I'm thinking maybe a roll cage would probably be of some benefit at some point. If anything, I should probably do that, because on my other car I have a tendency to fall off every now and again. So I'm guessing this one's probably going to be the same. Hopefully won't hurt myself too much. Alright, that's about it for now. I'll do an update later after I change a few things on this and get it dialed in.